What's up, everybody? This is Fred Richani of TSC News. I'm shaking my head. I'm shaking my phone. I'm repping my boy Leon St. Giovanni, whose shirt you can get on whatamaneuver.net. This is not a paid endorsement. And I was in the middle of a workout. I just dried myself up, put a little gel in my hair. I was doing some DDP yoga. I was half paying attention to SmackDown. And then I saw Baron Corbin, Mr. Money in the Bank, Mr. Boring in the Bank, unsuccessfully cash in on Jinder Mahal and lose in the geekiest way possible. So, long story short, kids, we had Jinder Mahal versus John Cena. Not a bad match. John Cena hit a super AA off the top rope. And what happened? John Cena went to pin Jinder Mahal, go for the cover. And all of a sudden, we hear Baron Corbin's horrible music. Just, I don't know, it's just some garbage that you probably got from like a WWE soundtrack or SmackDown versus Raw back in the day. Comes out, attacks Cena for the DQ, cashes in. He's going to cash in. He's going to win Money in the Bank. Well, he won Money in the Bank. He's going to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase. He's going to win the world title, and he's en route to being the most boring WWE champion since Jack Swagger. And for those that don't remember Jack Swagger's title reign, well, that's all you need to know. So, let me put this down for a sec. John Cena comes out. He gets back in the ring, sort of. He gets on the apron. Distracts Baron Corbin as the match starts. Jinder Mahal rolls him up with a schoolboy, a small package of sorts. Just for those that don't know what a schoolboy is, it's essentially a freaking roll-up. They call it a schoolboy. I don't know why they call it a schoolboy. It could be just called the boy, a roll-up, whatever. Anyway, Baron Corbin gets distracted. Schoolboyed. 1, 2, 3. And just like that, within 30 seconds, Baron Corbin loses his opportunity, loses the title match, and therefore becomes the biggest geek ever to hold the Money in the Bank briefcase. He held it for like what? Barely 2 months? Barely 2 months. Cashed in on a random SmackDown before SummerSlam, and he got schoolboyed and pinned 1, 2, 3 by a fallen man in Jinder Mahal in like 30 seconds. First of all, it made me laugh. It made me laugh a lot. You want to know why? It made me laugh because I get all these people on Twitter saying, Baron Corbin's the future, Baron Corbin's this, Baron Corbin's that. Listen, if you're grading on a curve, Baron Corbin is fine, okay? He's tall. He fights for the rights of tall white men with receding hairlines and long hair and skullets like Jake the Snake Roberts and Hulk Hogan. He fights for the right of guys that wear shirts in the ring. He fights for the rights of guys that go to metal concerts and have really good Twitter burns, but not that great of talent in the ring. I mean, he's a pioneer in some sorts. You know, he had the shirt, he had the receding hairline with the skullet. He had the slow walk. He had the mundane promos. I mean, he was a total package of like maybe one of the best like creator wrestlers you can make in WWE 2K17. He really was. And in all seriousness, he's a perfectly solid wrestler. In all seriousness, he's not bad. But if you compare him to the top wrestlers in the business, let alone WWE, does this guy belong anywhere near the top? No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Now, you compare him to Jinder Mahal, another guy who was a mid-carder, who got, actually practically a jobber, who got thrust into the main event picture. I'll say this. While I haven't been thrilled with Jinder Mahal's title run, I will say this. The guy has a presence. The guy has a great look. The guy has charisma. The guy has stepped up. Whether you think he stepped up to a world title level is another story. But the guy has stepped up. Meanwhile, Baron Corbin has gotten by just being tall and hitting some cool moves. And again, he's a perfectly passable worker in the ring. Perfectly passable, but is he better than a majority of the 205 Live guys? No. Is he in the league of John Cena and AJ Styles and all these guys, Nakamura? No. Is he better than Jinder Mahal? No. Is he better than Randy Orton? No. Rusev? No. Gable? No. Jordan? No. Miz? No. You can make the argument he's not better than Curtis Axel. I mean, there's just a lot of guys that are better than him in the ring. And it's fine if the guy had a presence. If the guy had some mic skills. If the guy had something that really stood out in 2017. But he really doesn't. And I'm not trying to crap on his misery here, because even though the character lost, I'm sure deep down inside, the person, Baron Corbin, is probably really pissed and going like, oh my god, they may actually be burying me. Oh my god, my short-lived main event run may finally be over. That sucks. And in some ways, I do feel bad he's human. At the same time, I gotta tell you guys, this is a business. It's a cutthroat business. And just because you're tall, just because you have long hair, just because you have some great Twitter burns, does not make you a main eventer. Just because you think you're cool and go on Twitter and try to diss Dave Meltzer, who's a great journalist, doesn't make you a world champion. It makes you look really insecure. It doesn't make you a world champion. So, I want to say a few things. First of all, thank you, John Cena, for sparing us from what could have been the most boring title run since Jack Swagger. Thank you. Thank you. Some people might say Jinder Mahal's title run's been boring, but the dude just celebrated India's Independence Day live on SmackDown. That was awesome. He had a Punjabi celebration. That was awesome. He brought back the great Khali. That was awesome. He stands up for diversity in this country. That is awesome. A lot more awesome than some other people in this country, I'll tell you that much. So, yeah, some of his matches with Randy Orton have been boring. Yeah, some of his promos have been generic. But you know what? Jinder Mahal has stepped up. Can you imagine a Baron Corbin title run? Can you imagine that? I beat Jinder Mahal, and I gave John Cena the end of days. I'm just falling asleep thinking about it, and I just worked out. I had adrenaline pumping in me. But from a booking standpoint, it is kind of bizarre. It does kind of piss me off, because they should have done my idea. And my idea is, you should have put the briefcase on the line versus John Cena at SummerSlam, have Cena win, and then that Cena is your backup plan in case Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, which was the planned WrestleMania main event for a while, falls through. Maybe Brock wants to fight. Maybe Brock fights John Jones and gets his ass whooped, which I think he would, although he's going to get paid a lot of money. Maybe Brock decides not to fight, and maybe for whatever reason he decides, I don't feel like wrestling anymore. Or maybe, just maybe, they want to go in a different direction and they think Brock can be used to make another guy like, say, Braun Strowman. I don't know. But John Cena versus Roman Reigns, whether that be the main plan for WrestleMania or your contingency plan, is one hell of a plan. You could still get there, but I feel a little weird if John Cena just kind of won the Royal Rumble. That being said, if he stays a free agent, maybe down the road, Elimination Chamber, he could win an opportunity to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Although it's a SmackDown pay-per-view, so. But who the hell knows what's going to happen with the brand extension by then. Let's get to some comments here. Alan Wu, did they give every big bill wrestler a meet and greet at Barclays for SummerSlam? I checked Barclays' site. They're doing events all week. Yeah, pretty much. Right here in the New York area, it is SummerSlam week. For those that don't know, I'm actually going to be at the Barclays Center for NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. So if you happen to be there, feel free to say hello. Again, for those that are watching the live stream on Facebook or maybe after the fact on YouTube, apologize for the lack of setup here. I did not expect Baron Corbin to cash in and lose miserably like he did, so I figured I'd do a quick live stream just recapping a little bit of what happened on SmackDown. I will have a SummerSlam preview by the week's end, so for those wondering what my thoughts are on SummerSlam, maybe we'll get my man Scott Anderson involved as well. We will give you our SummerSlam picks by the end of the week. And then on Sunday, I will recap everything that happened live at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. And I will, of course, recap SummerSlam after the show. Although I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be pretty damn tired because that show's going to be like, 4 hours, 5 hours? God forbid, 7 hours like WrestleMania. Not looking forward to that, although I'd say overall it might be a pretty great event with the Brock Lesnar match with John Cena bearing Baron Corbin underneath the face of the earth, etc. Jeremy Bauer says, why aren't we getting Gable versus Rusev instead of Orton versus Rusev Sunday? Because Chad Gable in their eyes is a small guy, and they think Randy Orton's a big star, which he is. And I guess it's a way for Randy to get his win back. He did RKO Rusev after Rusev destroyed Gable. I feel bad for Gable. He really should be getting a better push. Hell, he should be the one that's Kurt Angle's son. But I don't make the matches. I just analyze them. I do expect Orton to win, which sucks. I would like to see Rusev win, get some momentum going into the next pay-per-view, which I think is Night of Champions or No Mercy, whatever the hell the next pay-per-view is for SmackDown. Maybe it's Backlash. I don't even remember anymore what the hell it is. Whatever. Either way, I would like to see him win, but I don't see that happening. Although I might change my pick by the end of the week. We'll see. I got a couple more days to decide. We had the Usos beat the New Day in a non-title match with the combination of Kofi, I think it was Kofi and Big E or Kofi and Xavier. Either way, Kofi was in the match, and on Sunday it's going to be Xavier and Big E, which is very interesting. But since the Usos won the non-title match, I think that telegraphs the finish for Sunday, and we're going to get the New Day retaining, which I don't like because the Usos are just freaking awesome right now. When Natalya beat Becky Lynch clean as a sheet, which I didn't really like too much. I think Becky Lynch should be protected. I guess they're not going to build up to an angle between Ronda Rousey and the Four Horsewomen versus the WWE Four Horsewomen, because if they were going to do that, why would they have Becky Lynch just get submitted in the middle of the ring? I don't know. I don't like it. But yeah, Natalya, Naomi, I think that'll be a better match than people expect. If Carmella cashes in, I guess that's cool. It'd be nice to see Natalya win. I'd like to see Natalya get a win. I know some people think she's kind of boring, but she's very marketable. She's got a lot of followers on social media. There's a reason she's been on Total Diva since the beginning. She's very popular, probably more popular than people think. So it would be nice to see her get the title. JB says we should move the Usos from Raw. Move the Usos to Raw and Gallows and Anderson to SmackDown Live. I like that. Reform the club with AJ Styles and Gallows and Anderson. I dig that. Speaking of AJ Styles, we had AJ Styles and Kevin Owens confront each other. AJ tried to apologize to Shane O'Mac for accidentally Pele kicking him in the face. Instead, both dudes ended up in a pull apart. Shane McMahon had to separate them again. AJ almost punched Shane in the face. Shane got pissed. And then Kevin Owens went for a super kick. AJ ducked. Hit Shane O'Mac. So, going to be interesting on Sunday. Hopefully AJ and Owens will finally have a great match, like many of us expected them to have, but I'm not going to hold my breath, guys. I'm not going to hold my breath, just for whatever reason. I don't think they have negative chemistry. It's just one of those things where sometimes you get two dudes in the ring and you think they'd have a great match, and it ends up very good, but not at the level it should be. I mean, I remember Chris Jericho and Kurt Angle. I mean, they only worked twice, to the best of my knowledge, in major programs, but I remember they wrestled once on and granted it was a UK pay-per-view, so maybe that's why it wasn't blowing away match, but I think the only real Jericho Angle match we ever got was on WWE Rebellion 2001. It was a pay-per-view from like October 2001. You guys could find it on the network. And it was a really good match. Really good. But given who was involved, given the fact that both guys were in their primes at the time, it left a little bit to be desired. So I don't know. Sometimes you just get those matches, man, where they look great on paper, but, they end up just being very good, which is still fine. But by the standards of these two great workers, it is kind of surprising. And Shane O'Mac, there's going to be some tomfoolery in there. And I don't know, I guess Kevin Owens regains the title. I'm kind of tired of seeing the title change hands multiple times. I could see a scenario where Jeremy recommended on Twitter where he said that maybe Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are forced to team with each other. Kevin Owens gets frustrated, loses to AJ Styles. Sami Zayn's going nowhere. They do the reluctant tag team. Both are bitter rivals. They'd make a great tag team. They were a great tag team in ROH and the Indies, so why not? I'd dig it. I'd dig that. Okay, let's take some more questions here before I head out and upload this on YouTube. If you want to see this and you missed the full live stream, you can go to youtube.com/thesportscourier. Fred, what do you think about the pull-apart brawl on Raw where Braun and Brock were going at it? I kind of get the hint now that Brock may retain the title at SummerSlam, or Braun wins, and then he defends it against Lesnar at the September pay-per-view. Either way, whoever wins that match at the SummerSlam, I can absolutely see Brock versus Braun at the next pay-per-view, and my God, that is going to be one hell of a spectacle when that finally happens. That is for sure. The Shield reunion, I dig it. They cleared house of Cesaro and Sheamus, the Bar, as they call themselves, and they did the Shield fist bump. That's cool. It's kind of sad that Roman can't be bothered to go back to the Shield and do the Shield reunion, but perhaps him losing on Sunday will lead to him rejoining his Shield buddies. Or, and here's something that somebody suggested. I think who suggested this on Twitter? Let me look here. I want to give proper credit to this person. I think. Oh, it was Julian. I think it was Julian Cannon that had the suggestion, which is, what if Rollins and Ambrose help Reigns win the title at SummerSlam? Which would be awesome, but it wouldn't turn Roman Reigns heel. In a way, he would technically become a heel because he screws over Brock, who's sort of a babyface. But at the same time, he'd also be more popular because the fans want to see the Shield. They don't like Roman that much, but they love the Shield. And it's a great way to do some reverse psychology. I mean, it's kind of, in a way, I'd compare it to like Tetsuya Naito and Evil and Bushi and all those guys in New Japan, where Tetsuya Naito was a babyface for the longest time. Then he became this give no F's heel who has this cool catchphrase, this cool entrance, just all this stuff. He just won the G1 tournament for the second time in 4 years, and all of a sudden he's a babyface. Yeah, he's technically a heel. Yeah, he's technically against New Japan management. He throws the title up in the air. He threatens throwing the trophy away. He doesn't give a damn. Those ingobernables, they're ungovernable. But the fans love it. So perhaps he could use the same reverse psychology with Roman Reigns and have him rejoin the Shield and win the title. And while they are quote-unquote heels, they're technically baby faces. Whatever works, whatever gets you to your destination of wanting to make Roman Reigns a huge star. Although, easier said than done at this point. He's a big star, but I wouldn't say he's a huge star. You want my idea, though? And this is something I'd actually save for WrestleMania, whether he faces John Cena or he faces Brock Lesnar. I would actually say F the Shield. Maybe you'll want to do a Shield reunion this year, before the year is over. One time, though. Or you know what? You could reform the Shield for a short time. You could have Roman Reigns go into a match with Brock Lesnar or go into a match with John Cena at WrestleMania. And you can have Roman Reigns do every single freaking thing in his power to beat one of these men. But as you know, John Cena is hard to put away. Brock Lesnar is even harder to put away. So you can kind of do a callback to WrestleMania 17, only instead of having your quote-unquote top babyface, who's not really your top babyface, turn heel with the boss, say Triple H or Vince McMahon, he enlists help from NXT. He gets the Authors of Pain. Notice the Authors of Pain kind of dress like the old Shield, don't they? They kind of dress like Roman Reigns. They're dominant like Roman Reigns. They've improved rapidly over the last couple of years in developmental like Roman Reigns. Can you imagine the visual of the Authors of Pain debuting on the main roster in a huge match like WrestleMania against Lesnar and assisting Roman Reigns and systematically destroying the Beast, pinning him 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring, winning the world title, and forming this badass stable? You don't have to call it Shield 2.0. You could call it Bulletproof, whatever you want to call it. But Authors of Pain with Roman Reigns running roughshod on the WWE, Roman Reigns turning on Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, and Dean and Seth having to find a partner. Maybe they find John Cena. Maybe they form something with Finn Balor. Maybe they take a guy like Aleister Black from NXT. Whatever. I think a heel Roman Reigns with the Authors of Pain is money waiting to happen if you do it in the right scenario. So, we'll see. But, folks, I'm going to go on out of here. I just want to give you a quick update on everything going on in WWE right now. I want to send my best wishes to the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. He got out of surgery. He's still in intensive care. He's not out of the woods. I want to wish him the very best. My thoughts and prayers are with him and his family. He lived a hard lifestyle, a party lifestyle, and that stuff catches up with you on top of the hard lifestyle of just being a professional wrestler. But, he's Ric Flair. I do not want to see Ric Flair gone, so thoughts and prayers are with him. I want to send my best wishes to Heather Heyer's family, the victim who was tragically murdered in Charlottesville. Just disgusting display. And, I know this is a sports show and everything, but I just got to say this, man. I really have no tolerance for racism. I really have no tolerance for bigotry. You don't have to be Lebanese Venezuelan like me. You could be a white guy, black guy, whatever, man. At the end of the day, wrong is wrong, and I hope all you guys see the wrong that's going on in this world, and I hope that you take a look at what's going on in the world, and I hope that you can turn it into a positive. And what I mean is, if you don't want to march, if you don't want to protest, if you don't want to tweet, that's fine. But you know what you should do? Be a nice person. Treat people with respect. Wake up every day, look in the mirror, and ask yourself, how can I be a better person than I was the day before? That's what I try to do. I hope you guys can do that. Spread nothing but love. F Nazis. F fascism. F bigotry. F racism. I'm trying to censor myself here. My mom watches this show. I don't want to get a lecture from my mom, especially if she just celebrated her birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. So, obviously a lot of crap going on in this country. So I just want to tell you guys that if there's anything I can do to take your mind off this through pro wrestling, through mixed martial arts, through my shows, by all means, I would love to give you guys a little distraction, a little positivity, a whole lot of love. Fred's always got love for you guys, so I hope you guys can reciprocate that love to everybody else around you. As for this week in TSC News on MNN, Manhattan Neighborhood Network, this Thursday, 9:30 a.m., programming info will be available in the comments section after I wrap up this video. Our guest this week is going to be Punishment Martinez of Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling. I had a great half-hour-long conversation with him. Humble dude. A dude who kind of came out of nowhere, which is kind of crazy to think about when the guy is 6'7" and almost 300 pounds. But kind of came out of nowhere, doing his thing in Ring of Honor, doing his thing in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I have a lot of respect for him. Really came out of that conversation with even more respect for him. So I think you will enjoy that interview. Then next week on TSC News, we'll have my man, the fight nerd, Matt Kaplowitz, talking Mayweather versus McGregor. And of course, this weekend, we will have a ton of coverage of SummerSlam and NXT TakeOver. So folks, I'm heading out. Thank you for watching this impromptu live stream. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, take care, and as always, enjoy the matches and spread love.